This episode of the Long Run Podcast is sponsored by Skechers. Good evening and welcome. I thought I'd shout in your ear if you're on your on your run.
Cheers, mate.
Good evening and welcome. I just want to welcome to the greatest show on a Friday night, 7 o'clock, that's live. Forget TV, forget the news, forget the one show. This is where it's at tonight, people. We have got the everyday runner, the pinnacle of the everyday runners, joined us live. He's down there, Kieran. He's joined us. He's finally on. Look at him, look. And so I tell you what, before I get into all the other nonsense, he's all branded up. What a hero. Absolute legend. I know. That's the way he rolls. I mean, what a legend. Right, so good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Madhouse. You're going to be with us for the next 60 minutes. It's going to be an epic ride. We're going to take you up. We're going to take you down. We're going to take you left. We're going to take you right. Now, we are recording this live. So if you are watching us live, joining us, get in the chat box. I want you to ask Kieran as many questions as you can. Okay? I want you to blow his mind. It doesn't have to be about running. You can ask him anything. He can't go anywhere, right? We've got him, okay? So I want you to load up the questions. We are going to be talking about what is an everyday runner, okay? And then the reason we bring it up this week is because we've got one down there. Technically, we all are, but he epitomizes it in every single way, and I'll come on to why. So firstly, let's do the team. We've got Wilco with us over there.
Everybody. How are we doing?
We've got Benny Boy down there, and obviously, like I said, Kieran. So we've got an elite crack team of ninjas tonight to guide you through the next 60 minutes. We've got to give a big shout out to our sponsors at the front end of the show. We love you, Skechers. Go over to skechers.co.uk. Smash the living daylights out of that. We also want to give a shout out to the guys at Start Fitness. Use the code FORDY runs at Start Fitness. You're going to get 10% off. You're welcome, everybody. And thanks again to everybody who keeps tagging me saying they're using it. It's just my Instagram DM. Thanks, FORDY. Thanks, FORDY. Thanks, FORDY. I love it. Keep going. Smash it. Like I said, clear them out of something. I think we should clear them out of Deviate Nitro too.
I think we should clear them out of socks. That's what we
yeah,
should
well, no, they've got a lot of them. I've got to tell you that now. Next thing, I just want to re-emphasize, yes, better word, that if you go over to the 40 Runs website, and this is not a plug, this is to tell you that you need to go over there and find your local satellite group. There's a full weekly timetable on there, okay? We've got satellite groups all over the country, all over the UK. We're not London-centric. We're not one of these, London-focused clubs where everybody comes along so they get famous on Instagram. We ain't interested in that, okay? Everyday runners, people, you can go on there, and there's a list of on there. I'm going to give you some examples. So we've got Chelmsford just started. We've got Staines, Camberley, Cheltenham, Suffolk, Colchester. I mean, it's Birmingham. I could go on all night about it. Hartford. I could go on all night about it. So go over there and make sure you get involved into one of our local running groups, okay? There's also the Global Run Club, which goes out twice a week. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. I just saw somebody from Mesa, Arizona. You should be joining us on a Monday and a Wednesday. We've got 4 sessions for you to choose from, so make sure you join that. Right, so that's all the plugs out of the way. I don't think I've forgotten anything. Have I forgotten anything, boys?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay, good. So that's good. We haven't got admin tonight to keep me on the straight and narrow, so we could end up in jail. And we've got no Speago tonight, so I am going to cock up all the technology. But here's the thing. Check this out, boys. You get ready. I mean, you probably saw me playing around with it. Have a look at this. This is how awesome it is now. We can now spam you while you're live with products. Look at this. Look. Anyone want a Speago t-shirt? Look. Anyone want a cowboy up? Scan the QR code. How good's this? Look.
Oh, that's brilliant. And
this is the future. So look, Kieran, model it. It's Kieran who got me thinking about it. Yeah, look. You can. This is the future. This is going to be on YouTube soon. So you're going to be able to do this sort of stuff's going to be happening on YouTube. This is what they're investing in. But look, that's pretty cool. I like that one. That's my favourite. That's the one I wore at the National Running Show.
Available in big boy sizes.
Yeah, get involved. Anyway,
can't lose.
Let's get rid of this. We're not here to plug tops. We don't care. Right. Oh, look at that. Look, the chat is already loading up, Kieran. Oh, this is brilliant. So again, a reminder, get involved in the chat for Kieran, okay? and we want to hear from you. So, good. I'm just going to say good evening to everybody, and thanks for joining us. If you're on Facebook, there is a link that I should have put in, but I've forgotten where it is. So you just have to tell us who your name is.
This is a bit like when you sort of like you're first left on your own and you don't have to have a babysitter, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, we're sort of like flying it a bit. You know, we usually have people who keep us on the straight and narrow and look after us and things like that.
Yeah.
But we're flying by the seat.
Wilco, someone's asking they want a Wilco shirt. What would you put on it?
60%.
So you'd have this or like this.
Think about that. A Wilco shirt, eh?
You could have 60% on there. 60% runner.
Yeah, we'll have to think about that.
We'll have to think about that. Look. Yeah, but I like that one. Anyway, well, let's stop. It's quite good, though, isn't it? It's quite fun. I wonder what else you could put up there.
Like what?
Yeah, I'm just now thinking, I wonder what else you could actually put on there.
Well, I reckon that gap's about 3'6" high, so you could probably get Hayden in it.
I was just thinking the same.
We could actually put. I've had a brilliant idea. If we get Hayden on the store, you could buy Hayden. We could effectively put him on there, and you could scan a QR code to buy Hayden.
Yeah. Hey, we could do like Star Wars figures. We could do little
miniatures.
Miniatures.
But
Yeah,
Hayden
it'd
is
be
miniature.
tiny. It'd be tiny. It'd be like an ant.
It'd be like Yoda.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, come on. Right. Let's get into. So, firstly, what have you been up to, Wilco? Because you're training for Leeds. What have you been up to this week?
Yeah, we did Watford Half Marathon last week. Yeah, it was pretty tough. It's pretty hilly, but I found that 2 or 3 weeks into my marathon plan, it was an ideal training run, which I think sometimes what I learned from it was that you don't have to go all guns blazing in all your races and things like that. You could use these races, you know, to boost your own training, to do something different, bit of a change of scene, which is exactly what I used Watford for. And it ticked all the boxes in that respect.
Yeah, I actually second that. Video comes out this Sunday, actually, from the Watford half. We didn't win the $2,000. But it basically it's along the same sort of lines. Effectively, like use these local runs, these local events in your training, whether you're half marathon training or maybe you're going to do 10K, go along to a run for event that's a 5K Batsy. Use these events to get you sort of a little bit tuned up for that fitness and see where you're at and use them. Like Ben and I used it as a training run. Literally, I mean, he was on Facebook Live the whole time. I was dying up the hills. He's on Facebook Live. It's absolute piss take. True, Ben, or not?
Well, I had to share your pain with your public.
Oh, it was awful. He's going, no, hang on, I'm not live. Hang on. We're at the top of the hill. No, go back down it. We've got to go. It was a bit like that. But you know what? ATW done a cracking job.
Yeah, always great job. It's always well organised.
What about you, Kieran? What are you training for?
At the moment, nothing.
Good boy.
Well, we had obviously the 2 marathons last year.
Which were?
London,
and
Chicago.
Okay.
And with my job and all that, 2 in a year is a bit too much off last year, and it proved it in Chicago. Absolutely had a fantastic London. Coming, but beat the PB by half an hour.
Wow.
4:04. And then it went all wrong in Chicago. I think I was the only one, to be fair. Everyone absolutely smashed Chicago. And I'll tell you what, Chicago, it was so good to just be with everyone. Like, how many other running clubs you're going to get with, like, how many was over there, Ben? 15 of us?
Oh, at least.
Yeah,
it was...
and it was just, and everyone, it was just such a great time over there. And it's just one of them, it's one of them, I know you said it before, Chris, one of them times where it's not all about the times. And that proved it. We finished, I knew it blew up. Didn't have the race I wanted, but we went out and enjoyed everyone else in the evening. Absolutely fantastic. So it was definitely a bit of 2 halves on that one with London and Chicago. But
have you got your eye on something this year, then?
Yes. So I'm stripping back this year. The idea is I'm gonna go from now to the summer and try and bring the times down, because leading up to London, I put a really good block in and I PB'd in every distance apart from the 10K, which I've done a week after London. Had a really good London, done it, put the work in, and then pay dividends. So I've gonna work up the summer now, and then I have got a marathon booked, which is absolutely ridiculous why someone like me would book Valencia.
Hero.
Nice.
So I'm really going for that sub 4, because I've got 4:04 in London, And partly I blew up because I got so excited with seeing you lot at mile 19. Wilco looked like he wanted to kill me at mile 19. But I got so excited seeing you lot at Canary Wharf. I actually got to mile 22, took my last gel, realised I had 3 in the bag, and I thought, this ain't right. Something's not wrong. But I just got so excited. It's such a great day.
Oh, that's brilliant. So, okay, so he's going full guns blazing Valencia.
We're going Valencia, yeah, December 1st.
That's got to be training starting September.
Yeah. So the idea is, in a way, I put myself on a 52-week training block because I'm doing all the shorter distances now. I want to get really strong for it, and then come the summer, hopefully, hit the ground running with it.
Yeah, don't neglect that. You want to be building your endurance now.
Yeah, rather than just trying to force it all in later. Like, this is what I've done over this last couple of years. You just learn by it, didn't you?
Just work. Yeah, just work.
You learn by it.
Get your base there, and then off you go, sort of thing. We'll come on to that in a bit anyway. It'll be interesting to hear what you've been up to. So, okay, boys. So, Kieran, I'm interested. So 4:04. Do you wear a Garmin at all?
Yeah.
What's your predictor at the moment?
I don't know. I've just actually got a new one, so I'll have to find out. I'll have a look in a minute. On my old one, it was coming up, I think, at 3:48, which is quite unrealistic. No,
that's lovely.
I'm not going to go for that.
That's beautiful. That is 3:48.
Yeah, I think that's a
bit tasty.
That's a little bit off my means at the moment, but
I like it. We always ask our guests what they got on their on the thing. On the what's it called? So have you got any halves books for the spring?
Yeah, I've got one basically every month. I'm going out with some 40th birthday doing a couple of weeks.
What's that? Who's 40?
We ain't going for time, I don't think, with the amount of alcohol we're going to have.
Time in the bar. Actually, let's bring the viewers and listeners up to speed on that. So if you don't know what we're talking about, a certain Mr. Slater down there, although he looks it already, he's actually going to be turning 40 in a couple of weeks. So a big, let's say plane load of people are flying over to where, Ben?
We are flying over to Cyprus, to Paphos.
And what's the deal when we get there?
Well, we're supposed to be going over to do the 10K or the half marathon on the Sunday. However, we are staying in an all-inclusive resort, so I think so. Potluck, right?
Yeah, that ain't happening. Kieran, are you doing the half or the 10K? You're doing the half. You just said,
half, yeah.
Ben, what are you doing? Half or 10K?
I'm going to be in a police cell, hopefully.
Yeah,
but if I'm not,
leave me in here.
Yeah.
Wilco, what are you doing?
I'm doing a half marathon.
Do we know anything about the course? Like, it sounds funny, but it's Paphos. Sounds illy.
Evie's done it before. I think from what she said, I think it's pretty flat or downhill.
Flat or downhill?
Yeah, you start.
Yeah.
I think you start on they bus you up to the top of a hill or something.
What?
You just
I'm not getting in a bus.
Hold a bit.
You'll have to walk then.
This is sounding a bit like IB for you.
Yeah.
On the chart, it looked downhill. It weren't all downhill, was it? It was the top of the mountain, and there was a lot of ups on that, wasn't there?
Yeah, and the bus came 2 hours before we had to be there, and there was no shade, and we stood by the side of the road. It was about 30 degrees, and we're all roasting.
Oh, I'm not sure. I might just stay in the Brandon pool, to be honest with you. It's probably a little bit. It sounds a bit easier, to be honest with you. Anyway, so if you're listening in Cyprus, we're going to be in Paphos. When is it, Ben?
29th of Feb, 1st of March. People,
you've all been warned. That's all I'm going to say. You've all been warned. Right. So let me just jump into the chat quickly. Kieran, you're getting a lot of love. Good evening, everybody. Oh my God, there's a lot. Satellite Club in Mesa, Arizona. I'd love a satellite club in Arizona. I'd actually go out and go there every week. Kieran, Quasar Quest Hero, Atlanta. Wow. A lot of people want the Wilco shirt. Okay, Kieran. Someone wants a Disruptor t-shirt as well. That's quite good. So, Kieran, first question coming in. We'll get into some of these, and then who's your favourite Hallam?
Oh, tough.
It's got to be Rob, isn't it?
Oh, he's going. Okay. By the way, they all loved the Hayden cutout idea. So cheap postage as well because he's only small.
They're all fantastic. They're a good bunch of Hallams. They are.
They are. They are. Apparently, Kieran, we need a bleep button for you. You've been quite well behaved so far.
best behaviour tonight.
It's best behaviour. As people are moaning about their heels as well. Right, Kieran, what's this question? Is this loaded? What type of heart rate monitor do you suggest? Watch, chest, or arm?
I used to have a chest, but to be honest, with the technology coming up, for me, I think the wrist one works just as good. And if it's slightly out, if you're going on something all the time, then you're still getting that gauge, aren't you? Rather than it being like wrong, or I think you had Ben and Mary on here that time, Chris, and he said the same thing. Obviously they're not as good as the straps, but I just find on a race, because with the old man boobs and all that, they just rub.
Everyday runner. We're coming on to this. What a hero.
I prefer to watch. I get the data that I need on the watch. Like, I done Great Bentley half on Sunday, and it was fantastic half. And I got all my data off that. Now the technology's come up so much, isn't it? 5 to 6 years ago, you wouldn't be able to do it, but now it's more or less. They're more or less. when I go to the gym, I know again the machines are not accurate, but it more or less corresponds with everything.
There or thereabouts, isn't it? It's like anything. I mean, if you want to go into it proper, then you need the equipment. But if you're using it as a data point, let's call it.
I just want to make sure I'm not going to die. That's all.
Yeah, you just want to make sure that you're not at 250 beats per minute.
Then it gets over 200 and I slow down. It's fine.
Right, this is anybody had any IT band issues? If not, I'll answer it.
No, I
Anyone?
haven't.
No, right. I think stretching is key to that. Just honestly, get one of them. I don't even know I should know what they're called. Do you know one of them resistant band things? Is that actually? I think that's might be what they're actually
resistance
called.
bands.
Yeah, I think they're actually called that. Get on the floor, right? Back down, lay down, Ben, be careful, and with your resistance band and stretch it out. Just go on YouTube and do it, because for me, when I had IT band issues, apart from the strength work you need to work, around your glute and everything else that goes, put that to one side, but just stretching the hell out of it is great. But get a resistance band and then do the stretches online. There was a question for Kieran, because I want to do some of these before we get into the main topic. Question for Kieran: how are you planning for the Valencia heat? Might see you on the start line from Rod Lambert. How are you going to plan for the heat in Valencia, big boy?
It's what I've read up. It's quite consistent in it over the years. It's usually about 14 to 16 in December, if I'm correct, anyway. So I'm hoping it's not going to be. Obviously, it's going to be a lot warmer than over here, but it's still going to be. It's not going to be as hot as, say, a summer marathon for us, is it?
Yeah.
Like we went to Spain last year when we went out to Ibiza, and that was hot, wasn't it, Wilco?
That was hotter than that. I mean, if you're talking about 14 to 16, that's sort of like an average temperature for about April for a spring marathon.
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, that's what I've been looking at, and so I think that's really ideal, isn't it?
Yeah. You don't want it any warmer, but at the same time, it's quite a nice temperature to run in, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm hoping they're not going to have a major heat wave on December the 1st, and then we'll go from there.
But also, you would have trained through the summer. Don't forget.
Yeah.
So you'd have had a bit of that as well. So I think that helps as well. Instead of coming out of winter, like a lot of spring marathon people, obviously we come out of the winter, -4, peeing down the rain every day.
Yeah.
Bang, you go to London, it's 28 degrees. Have some of that. You shouldn't get that.
That was like at Chicago. I don't know. You didn't come over so early, Ben, did you? When we landed in Chicago on the Wednesday, it was 28 degrees.
Wow.
And I got off the plane and I said to my wife, I'm going back on. I said, this will kill me. And honestly, within 2 days, it just plummeted. It absolutely plummeted. When we saying to the others, they come over the weekend and we said it was 28. You can't, but Chicago is so unpredictable anyway. But it was so hot out there.
That was so upsetting.
And then when what do we run it in, Ben? It was about 3 degrees, wasn't it?
Like that early
Freezing,
morning, it was Baltic, ridiculously so.
It just changed over there. It's something unbelievable.
I've got a question for you, Kieran. Out of London and Chicago, which did you prefer?
Oh, really hard. Really hard.
That's what I asked.
Do you know what? The only time I'm probably ever going to agree with Hayden, right? And that is Chicago.
He's only been on 9. Can I just put a note out that who's hammered him first tonight?
Chicago. I'm just disappointed he's not on tonight. For the
no, he couldn't be bothered. He sacked it off.
He flew away to get away
He
from
sacked
you.
it off, Kieran. He said, I can't be bothered.
Not only he done that, but he let his wife run the club last night.
I know. Bang out of order.
You know what we should have done? We should got in a car this afternoon, set up camp, and gone to his house and done this for live and invited him in.
From the mansion?
Yeah. Built
Nah,
in his
security
gaff.
wouldn't have let us through.
No, we'd have been all right. We'd have gone on the West Wing.
Oh, he would have. No,
That'd
it's
have
so
been
big.
absolutely
It's literally the other side of Surrey, the West Wing. It's that big. We'd have to navigate
No,
the moat.
all joking aside, London was special because I had my family there and my friends, and Chicago was more about the togetherness. And that sounds a bit cringy.
No,
It's more about like the togetherness. Like it did work for me, but it's not all about you at the end of the day, is it? You know, you support, and everyone absolutely smashed it, and I enjoyed that just as much. You know, I took my time when I come away to reflect on it, and that's why I'm giving Valencia a really good go. But no, it's two different races. Saying that, Chris, what you said about when you first turned up at London and why all this started, I found London very lonely at the start because I went on my own. I went up there and I thought, right, wow, this is what people experience because it's all very regimental. It was all like, you got to be in there this time, be in there that time. And it was horrible like that. Well, obviously, when you get going, it was brilliant. I think I started off because of my phone thing. I was about 5 minutes behind you guys. We started off about 10:15. But yeah, no. So that side, where obviously in Chicago, I had Al dragging me into Starbucks at 6:30 in the morning, stuffing bagels down my neck because we didn't have the right prep. And again, that's, you know, I was quite naive of me, Chicago. I will be. If I go abroad again, I will know what to take.
It is, but it's an interesting point you made about that. I think London. I think we do underestimate. We're very blasé, and I don't want to be marathon focused, right, on this episode at all. So I'll just touch on this, and then we'll move on. But I don't think people who are doing London for the first time do realise how what you just said is so true. If you don't have a support network around you, whether it's a club, friends, whatever that you're running it with, don't forget even last year I was with Ben and Si in the pen that we were in. It's an intimidating place,
definitely,
and it's an unnerving place. And yes, you alluded to it again. You know, that's why I started all this madness six odd years ago, whatever it was, because of my, you know, basically bordering on panic attack that I had at sitting there in Greenwich. So I would just say to everybody, listen to what Kieran's saying. Don't underestimate what's coming. Be aware of that you're going to be spending probably some time on your own if you don't happen to know anyone. Obviously, look for a 40 runs fellow runner, but chances are they'll probably have a charity top on, which is awesome because we're raising awareness for that charity. But, you know, think about how you're going to deal with that. Listen to music. Take one of these podcasts with you. Whatever it is, yeah? But just be aware that is a side effect of these big events that can happen if you happen to be on your own. Obviously, again, if you're part of the 40 Runs community, there'll be some faces kicking about and whatnot and all that sort of stuff. And once you get going, hopefully you get into the groove and all that sort of stuff. But just remember it. Right, let's go into. Oh God, there's loads. This is brilliant. I love this. I love it when we've got people on. There's just so much engagement. It's just brilliant. Hot in Chicago. Somebody else wants a Wilco t-shirt. Wilco.
Oh right. Okay. Well, we'll have to count them up, aren't we?
Should we we'll plug the t-shirts again in a minute? I think that obviously went down well. Let's do it now while I'm doing this. You're welcome.
As long as you can see the comments, you'll be all right.
I can't. I've now messed it up. Look at this. So we've got to stop playing. Oh. Table will tell me off now. Someone's can't believe that you're agreeing with Hayden. Right. So, Wilco, are you planning a PB attempt at the winter run?
I don't know. I did give it a good go when I did the 10Ks. The time that I haven't PB'd in for a little while, you know, because I did knock a few out towards the end of last year. I gave it a good go at Battersea a couple of weeks ago and got within about 30 seconds. So I could do. I'll be giving my my new Pro Freeze a spin for that. So, yeah, I wouldn't say no. You know, I'll give it a go and see. It's with these things, I'll see how it is on the day. I'll see how I get on sort of like in the first couple of K and then push on and see how we get on.
Kieran, how did you find the bobble hat that the admin was adamant that you weren't allowed to give me? And admin, just so you know, if you do listen to back to this, he has proper grassed you up. Tell him the exact words that she said to you.
Well, I was in the pen waiting to go, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. And she turned around and she said, "Whatever you do not give it to Chris." And she was looking pretty serious about it.
Yeah,
And
you
I
don't
was
want to cross her when she's like that, mate.
Yeah, no, she was pretty adamant that I weren't giving it to Chris. So
Yeah, how did you find that, the bubble out run?
oh, great, absolutely great. Yeah,
but did you find it rather expensive?
Yeah.
Oh, don't.
No, don't.
I don't think I'm allowed to talk about it no more because Caroline would just literally hit me.
No, she's not, but she can't hit you because she can't. So just let rip. Go.
Get on with it, mate. Free, go.
Just crack on.
Absolutely ridiculous, really. Isn't it? Was it $50 or something?
Yeah,
like that. But it absolutely ridiculous.
$10 a kilometre.
Yeah, it's the most expensive 5K you're ever doing, it.
But
did
you
loved it. I wouldn't say I loved it, but we got it done, didn't we? We got it done. And so, you couldn't go by anything, could you? You could never go for a time. I know it's not meant to be going for a time, but GPS out there is absolutely unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know every city marathon's quite bad, but God, that was really bad. That was really, really bad.
Right, I'm just going to pull this question out. We'll just hit this one, and then we'll get into everyday runners. How do you manage mentally when Dr. Physio tells you to have a break from running? I know everyone should follow and listen to our bodies, but I feel like I will lose my fitness. Have you? So I think this is more a question of like, how have you managed a break from running, an enforced break from running? Kieran, have you been? Oh, sorry about the bobble. Have you been forced to take time off?
I did actually. Yeah, I had to defer my London place.
Right.
I was meant to do it in 2020, and I done it. You got after the COVID situation. You had 3 years, didn't you, to choose what you wanted to do? And I chose to do it in 2022. But at the start of 2022, my knee went, and I was and basically. Like everything else, you go out there and I say, stop running. It's not for you, sort of thing. But I'm very fortunate. I'm in a position where I can have sports massages and physio and all that. And he absolutely played a blinder and he got me back fixed. And it's hard, but I just done what I could do. Go to the gym. I was quite fortunate as well because obviously we were getting married then as well, so I had a big distraction.
Yeah, that's true.
It is. But then you just. You try and fall back on your mates as well, didn't you? I felt sorry for myself, put it in the group, and I had Al and Caroline, sort of. That's probably the only time Caroline actually felt a little bit sorry for me, to be fair. Play that along a little bit. But it's hard. It's hard, isn't it? But
yeah, what about you, Wilco?
I've been fortunate that I've never been more than a couple of weeks, really. So touch wood. I think it is. And it's obviously the mental sort of like aspect of it, particularly when you get so into running and it takes up such a part of your life. And I do sometimes think, I had something about a week ago where I didn't get out for about a week. And I thought, how would I actually cope if I was, how would my life change if I had sort of like 3 or 4 months where I couldn't get out and do it? And what would I, so it's almost sort of like thinking about in the background what I could do to stimulate myself mentally, particularly if I fell into that situation.
About you, Ben?
Same as Wilco. I've been really lucky. I haven't had to take any enforced. I think I struggle after marathons, kind of winding down for that month because I think for me it's that much like yourself. It's the mental break. I got in from work last night and went out and did 10 miles. My boss said to me, "Why the hell would you do that?" And I was like, to switch off from work. I think it's one of those. I've been lucky. I'd have to find something else, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's that sort of distraction. If somebody's telling you, firstly, you've got to listen to what they're saying, right? I mean, it's just don't go out and do stupid stuff and don't come back too quick as well as always, But I think it is hard because if you rely on running, let's say, to help with your mental health, we know the benefits of it, it's proven. And you're then forced to take a layoff. It can really knock you. And I think, you've got to focus on recovery, the recovery element, throw yourself into that. So whatever you are allowed to do, because unless you're absolutely in a right old state where you can't do anything, then they'll always turn around and go, right, you can do these stretches, or you can do biking, or you can, although I don't do that, but you could do swimming, or you could do yoga, you can do something. So throw yourself into that rehab, throw yourself into that recovery. there are times, don't get me wrong, with my back, right? Classic example where, you know, it got to the point where I have to rest. I can't literally do anything. You do have to. But then I find stuff to, you know, keep myself busy. But don't get me wrong, I was a miserable sod for that period of time. You know, really struggling with my ADHD, all the mental stuff that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. You know, it flares up because you're not doing it. But once I was then able to start rehabbing it, I focused on that. So that's what I would always recommend is try and find something to take. It's that distraction thing, isn't it? Like anything else. There was another question I just wanted to do before I wanted to get. There we go. Because it's on the back of your one, Wilco, what you said. So this is from Mike Black Ledge. What a great name. Probably not said that right. When you set yourself up to say, I'm going for a PB in a specific race, but fail, which I think we all do a lot of the time, a lot of us, right? Do you find that you PB when you don't target a specific race, but just rock up and run? So I think the question is, do you fail? But then for whatever reason, you don't care anymore and you then go along to, I don't know, local race and then somehow pull it out of your bum. I mean, does that happen? Kieran, has that happened to you?
My current half marathon PB is on the Essex 20 miler. And all I get from people, well, you just don't obviously work hard enough in a half marathon.
I agree.
And it was one of them days. It's a stop on the run up to London last year. I think it's March. They do it. I think you've done it, Chris, when you run around the airfields, abandoned airfields in Saffron Walden somewhere, isn't it? I've done 20 miles there, and I PB'd there on my, and that's still my current half marathon PB on a 20 miler. So
Jeez.
I've obviously got to sort that out. So yeah,
what is your PB time?
For a half is 1:51.
That's good, mate. Well done. Good for you. Wilco, what about you? I mean, you quite openly said that Bat said, I'll give it a go, see what happens. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I think that's generally tends to be my sort of attitude.
It does, doesn't it?
I'm not going to say, right, this is going to be my PB race, because I always find that whenever I do a race, there's always something to take out of it anyway. And the PB is a number. So there's always sort of like things that, oh, well, that went particularly well, or that went bad, and I've learned from it, and now I can. So if it happens, it happens, really. And I mean, I went through sort of like towards the last sort of 3 or 4 months of last year, I was doing half marathons and just doing my PB every time. It was just ticking it off. And it was a result of, you know, the consistency and the stuff that I was actually doing in my training rather than the race performances themselves. They were the result of what I was doing rather than, you know, just going for it hell for leather on a particular day. So now I've sort of like got the recipe, and now I'm thinking, well, perhaps I could push that on, and what can I do in my training for Leeds that can make sure that I can get a much better marathon time than I've done before? You know, so, all right, I'm not drinking so much. I'm trying to do a bit of strength training. It's going to be a hilly course, so I'm out in the hills and things like that. So I'm just doing little things. So I don't really go all out for sort of like today's the day. It's going to be sometimes when I'm halfway through a race, I think, right, today is the day. I'm in. And then I knuckle down. I've done that with a park run when I had, I took ages to get under 25 minutes.
Yeah, I remember it.
And then someday, you know, so I've got to sort of like the free marker, and I'm thinking, right, it's it. We're on. Today's the day. And then, right, put it in for 10 minutes. Just give it as much as you can and go over the line.
Bang,
so it happens. It's a natural progression for me rather than sort of like, oh, I'm going to do the Great North Run. I've got to get under 2 hours and all that sort of thing. You just put too much pressure on yourself, and more importantly, it's an enjoyable thing. This should be enjoyable things that you go and do, and you won't get as much enjoyment out of it if you beat yourself up about your time all the time.
I mean, Ben, I'm going to throw it to you in a different way, because I put you under pressure at Dover, right, to go, because I thought it was a funny idea was to put you under pressure. So you got even put under pressure, not from yourself, but the viewing public and the people of Malta, where we're national celebrities. So how do you deal with that? Like somebody saying, right, you've got to go and run a PB today. Maybe it does happen, maybe it doesn't. But how do you deal with that? Like, I don't know.
I mean, because I was actually going to say I don't put myself under the pressure. You put me under the pressure for it.
That's true. I'll take that one.
With that one, I genuinely, with that one, it was everyone kept me going on that. I'd gone out. I thought Hayden was pacing me stupidly, so we
No,
went
he
out.
can't with them little legs of his. And don't forget how old he is now.
This is true, and he did fall away after like not
That's
even a
because his feet
mile.
got very hot from where they're so hairy.
But with that one was genuinely, I think, because we saw everyone so many times, and everyone, because you told everyone, and I was like, okay, yeah, do you know what? And I just kept an eye on it. I think genuinely, like Wilco, I'm probably slightly different in that I'll say, yes, this is a race I'm going to go for. So I think everyone knows Berlin for me this year is my A race. That's what I'm going for.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't get it, it's fine. I'll take the learnings and apply them. I think that is a thing. I think there's someone on Facebook said the same thing as well, is, Kieran, you look in Chicago. I saw how disappointed you were at the end, but, we all hugged you. We all had a beer, and you've stepped away from that, reflected, and know what to do for next time. So I think it's important not to beat yourself up about it, but take the learnings from it. Because even if you PB, you still learn. Like at Dover, for me, I've learned again not to go out too quick. And I've just seen the comments coming about boot camp. Another one. I don't know why this happens to me. Must learn to say no.
Exactly. How many times did I tell you? I say, it's your running journey. You could always say no. Just say no.
I know. So I think it's interesting. I think the thing that was most interesting for me was what you were saying, Wilco, and I think that's a good thing to take away from it is about let's put like not applying pressure to yourself. Let's put that to one side, because I think we all agree with that. Yeah, that's just absolute nonsense. Don't put yourself under any pressure, because otherwise, what's the point of doing it, right? Just going to give yourself more stress. But I think what you said is quite good, actually, Wilco, because sometimes you're just out there and you just feel like it's there, and you have those days, and it can be at a park run, it can be at a 20 miler, it can be whatever that you're least expecting it. But they're the days to push if you want to push, right? Depends what you're out there for. But some days, I totally agree with you. You just feel like you're flying, and everybody's definition of feeling like they're flying is different, right? You might be absolutely crushing your run walk. Yeah, you might be absolutely nailing that. Like literally, you're 30 on, 30 off. You're absolutely killing it. Like Marissa in New York, right? You might just be absolutely beating it to the devil, right? And I think it is something to think about. Like, don't give yourself that pressure. But when you are out there and you've got a good feeling, don't be scared to push. Don't be scared to ask the question, because the chances are you've got a lot more there, and you're probably not even near where you think you are.
When you think, how many times you come out of a race or like a solid training run, and you think, oh God, I couldn't put any more in there, and then you look at your watch and it's 4.1 and not 5. You think, oh well, actually. I mean, this goes completely against the 60% mantra, obviously. So.
Well, this is the thing. All those T-shirts you sold,
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. They all want refunds, Wilco. This is no
what
point.
A fraud.
Yeah, we're going to go back to selling these ones. But you're right. I mean, it is. That's the thing I would say from again, I'll say it a million times. I don't run for times. I train with a time in mind, so I keep myself accountable through my training, right? Because I want to push through my training, because that's what I really enjoy. I really enjoy trying to see where I'm at in my training, okay? But on the race day, I'll go out of an idea. But like you said, if it feels good, I'll go with it. But if it feels bad, I'll ask the question a little bit further down the line, because a lot of that's my own self getting in my own way, right? But I'll ask the question a bit further down the line. But ultimately, if it ain't there, it ain't there, and I couldn't give a toss. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because I'm not out there to run the time. That said, I am proud of myself if I do step on it, and I do feel like I finished that race, and I did answer those questions, and I did push on, and I was able to, achieve it, or the numbers come in. So, yeah, I think with that, it's an interesting topic. Yeah. Okay. Look. Right. So I'm going to move us on, because we've probably spent too long for that. There was somebody asking about shoes. Come on the Monday live stream. We hang out and we talk about running shoes till the cows come up. I've got well, if I could show you, I'll show you. It's like and that goes down. There's about 12 pairs of shoes there. So we talk about them on Monday. All right. Okay, right. So by the way, Kieran, someone just hammered you. Nice house, Kieran. Is it actually your house, or you've done a Hayden and gone somewhere else?
It's my house. Yeah.
Okay, so the definition of an everyday runner, right? This has come up several times. Okay, and I think Kieran defines the everyday runner in my mind. Okay, Ben, you're nodding. Why are you nodding?
Because he does. I think when I first met Kieran, you told me you hated me. That was lovely. We were by the.
He messaged me early.
Fair,
I ain't coming on if he's coming. That's what he said. So I'm only on it because Hayden's on it, and he sacked him off. But carry on.
we were by the pool in Ibiza, weren't we? And it was, we just got into a conversation about things and talking about your running journey and how I think you, at that point, I was training for London as well, and it was my first marathon, and you were kind of keeping track, and I was keeping you honest on it, and actually that really resonated with me. And I think, especially just seeing your journeys, and you just get your head down and go for it. And I saw you, as I said before, I saw you in Chicago, and I saw the disappointment, but that you bounced back from that, and not, that for me is what it's about. You just kind of just keep going.
Okay, that's interesting. Wilco, what do you think about this everyday runner? And the reason I bring it out is because it's bandied about by. I mean, look, I've caught that the phrase. I was, at the start of my journey, I think, trademarked it, used it. You can crack on with it, and I think it defines a person. But it's like anything; it's definition. How do you define that?
You
see, everybody's different.
To be frank, it's not a phrase that I particularly like. I don't like if you see the definition of every day, like I looked it up before I came, just Googled it before I come on. And you get words like ordinary, run of the mill, unexceptional, unremarkable, common or garden, bog standard.
And stop. Common or garden?
Common or garden, just normal. It's not. And I think the people in the running community, they're not ordinary. They do extraordinary things. They do things you've got people doing, the fact that anybody does a marathon, 1% of the world's population do a marathon, that does not make you ordinary. That makes you exceptional.
Yeah.
And people joined the running community, also even started running and just gone with the flow and achieved amazing things.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
So that's my only put. But what I like, I see when I see people like, all of us, what it does is, in a way, I think it inspires. It sounds a bit grandiose. I won't say me, but I think it inspires people into thinking, well, if he can do that, so can I. Yeah. So, we've all got, we do normal jobs, we do lives, we've got different sort of families. We're not out training 3 times a day and having a 2-hour kip in the afternoon and doing, running full time. We're fitting it in with the rest of our lives and still doing great things.
Yeah. I think. Hang on. Someone's moaning because I turned the chat off. It's interesting that they now want the chat because we never used to have the chat. And now they want the chat. So I'm glad
a victim of his own success. Yeah,
we are a victim of our own success. Sorry, I was. Apologies, Gemma. I was absolutely loving what Wilco was saying because I think he absolutely killed it in terms of the definition. Is actually, when you look it up, it couldn't be any further from what it actually probably means. And it is the fact of people like Kieran are exceptional. People like Kieran are doing amazing things. People like Kieran are inspiring other people. Kieran, you're going to hate it. He's an influencer because he's influencing others to go out on their journey and achieve what they want to achieve because they see Kieran's out there smashing a life out of this 20 miler. I'm going to go and sign up for one of these 20 milers. And it is incredible. And that's the thing. It's that sort of, you do running in your way. Like whether it's funny. I won't say who I was on with somebody quite high up in the running world today. And we was talking about the club, the community, and all that sort of stuff, and all that sort of thing. And it was quite interesting because he comes at it from a different background. Let's say traditional runner, traditional club runner, but very senior in that world. But he 100% got what we're about, right? Because he understood about that person who is a solo runner because they don't have time to go to any form of races, club events, social elements. They literally just they've got half hour to go out and do some fitness, and that's running, and that's what they do. Or that person who is maybe too anxious to go along to a club and could get intimidated by that circumstance, might not fancy doing a track session because they wouldn't know what the bloody hell they're doing. And, that sort of thing. Or just likes to go to park run because they want that social connection. And I think it's a definition which actually could be interpreted in a million different ways. But I think you're absolutely right, Wilco. The most powerful thing about it is the fact of it's not ordinary, it's not average, it's the complete opposite. It's exceptional and it's amazing, and you are truly inspiring. And you might not realize it, but when I see, for example, people like Kieran on a Tuesday night absolutely drilling it up those hills, right? I love that woman. She's my hero. She's come along Hertford and she is there pretty much every week, absolutely smashing the life out of those sessions. She will not quit until she's finished, right? And she is killing it up them hills. And I see the progress from her. I'm not just saying it inspires me to try harder because she's giving 100%, right? But then, at the weekend, she got told, this is how bad it was coming back. Kieran, you'll lose your mind when you hear this. She got shouted at a race she did at the weekend that she was, get out of my way. You're too slow. Get out of my way by another club runner. They come around and actually hassled her. She reported them to the race director because they gave her abuse because where she was on the... Yeah, I know, Ben. Honestly, you ask her. It's disgusting. And I'd love to know if those people got pulled up. I bet they didn't. But she got abused because she's a slow runner. But I'll tell you what, that woman is an inspiration because she was out there. And I think she might have PB'd, didn't she, Wilco?
She's been doing great. She's been doing really well, like last 6 weeks. I see all her stuff. It's like, been really impressed like with her times and the distances she's putting in.
Yeah, honestly.
She's doing really well.
But my point is that she defines, like Kieran, the everyday runner.
And the beauty of it is,
yeah,
you could name 100 people like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. And again, that's why I wanted to talk about it because we've got Kieran, who is a brilliant example, like Karen, of that everyday runner, but it's the complete opposite of the actual definition because they are awesome, they are inspiring, they are amazing. And you know what? You'd love to go and sit in a pub and talk to Kieran for 5 or 6 hours.
Depends how many he's
had. Exactly.
The thing is, you could sit down and talk to Karen for ages about her journey, and you just listen to her, and you're like, bloody hell. And it's the same with Kieran. Honestly, you sit with Kieran, you sit with Ben, you sit with anybody like within the 40 Runs community, and you actually sit there and listen to their story and listen to what they're doing. You think, Jesus, you know what I mean? It's like, and that's my point, and that's why I wanted to touch on it because I think we underestimate it. We ban this slogan about, we ban this trademark around, but actually it means more than you actually think, right? And take pride in the fact that you are not ordinary and you are not. What was it, a garden? What did you say?
Communal garden.
You are not a communal garden, people. You are amazing. And I think sometimes we don't give ourselves enough appreciation ourselves and look, what we're actually achieving ourselves. The fact that you're getting out there, even, just getting out there and going around the block. You're doing great things. So don't underestimate what you're doing. Don't compare yourself to others. But, honestly, I want you all to sit there and give yourself power. If you're on your run at the moment, you're listening to this as a podcast, just stop and walk for a second. Give yourself a little tap on the back. I'll give you permission to do that. Pause your Garmin, though, obviously.
Can I just jump in there, Chris? As
you
well?
go anytime.
Where that situation where you're saying that she got told that she was too slow and all, people don't know people's circumstances, personal circumstances are. She might be them. People might be slow for a reason. They might have been getting over a medical problem and things like that. An injury, but and it might have taken literally everything for her to sign up at that race.
Yeah,
And that's it's actually, we had obviously, like we done Great Bentley on Sunday, and it was like Bam Bam, who's from Colchester,
Legend.
He PB'd 11 minutes.
I know.
At home. And honestly, I took more. I forgot about my time at the end, and I was more engrossed with his 11-minute PB. And on the course, we actually recruited on Sunday. It's quite impressive. Legend. Young girl. And she was running with us and all that. She was just on her own, and she wanted a 2 hour. And my mate said, "Oh, if we carry on with this pace, we want to around about 2 hour." And she went, "Oh God," she said, "You lot are just mucking about, and you're looking for a 2 hour." And I said, "Well, just come and join with us." And she did, and she absolutely loved it. And she got a PB as well. And again, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
That's exactly what it's all about.
Don't know, but you don't know as well what people got. What people are going through in their own personal life. So I had it when I first started running. I didn't have an absolute clue. And the only reason why I started running is because I stupidly put in for me the London Marathon, and just as you do, and then I put it in March when they close the ballot, and then October I'll get this email. I thought it was a few of my mates mucking about, but it worked. It was legit. And I've got to be honest. So I'm like, I've even told my missus, and she went, "Obviously you're not doing it." The only time she's never, to be fair to her, the only time she's never been supportive was that time, right? And I didn't have a clue. I was well over. I'm big now, but I was over 20 stone then, and with all the negative, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And obviously, I went out and I'd done my first 6K run walk, and I'd done it in 57 minutes. And you just got better and better and better, and it's brilliant. But cut a long story short, I went to the doctors because I thought, well, I need to go to the gym. So I went to the gym, and they went, "We can't take you on."
What?
Okay. What was that then? They went, "Your blood pressure's too high." But obviously, I was new to running. I didn't know nothing. So I said, "Okay." So they said, "We have to get a referral from the doctors." And I've gone to the doctors, and they said, "How you're not haven't had a heart attack is a mystery." And through that, I'm like, well, it's like they do like the graphs, and I was actually off the graph. I was like, wow, this is scary. And again, so in a way, that ballot place could have possibly saved my life.
Probably did.
And things like that happen. But that happens to everyone. Loads and loads of different people. And obviously, because they don't publicise it, and they do, and then you get people like that will come through and tell people they're too slow. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, mate. Oh, mate, you're right, bro. I think it is disgusting. And again, this is why I love this, man. It's like preaching the gospel, isn't it? It's just great to hear, isn't it? It's not BS. We didn't give you a script, did we, Kieran? Did I give you a script? No. It's true. It's true. What you pointing
that one, Rob's just come through. Rob Hallam. Look at Harp 24. I'm sorry, but we had an absolute fantastic weekend, but they were so disrespectful to us. Right? Well, we were just looked as the jokers in that group, but we had the winning girl.
Says it all, bro.
Lauren from Surrey, she a winning girl. And we even, Hayden was absolutely fuming about this, but on the Sunday they done the ceremony, and one of our girls groups won, and they basically said the only reason why you won because there was no other group in it. And it's like, disgusting, isn't it? And there was plenty, and that was really, so this year we're putting a strong team together. We're going to absolutely
take me to the cleaners.
I got pulled fat on the start line as well by some old boy.
This is what I'm saying. It's disgusting. Honestly, these people, mate. Honestly, I see it like, I'm out there in public eye is probably a bit strong, but I'm out there, right? And even the abuse, like these people, they don't know you. As you say, they don't know what you're going through. Like again, I'm not looking for sympathy here, right?
No.
But everybody's seen the Kendall Mint advert, right? It's bloody everywhere, isn't it? Right, I got that. I picked it up, and I went over to the store because I took one of my clients over there to introduce her to the guys because she was struggling at the time with product, like what to do. Jill, she only won the marathons. I said, look, this is what I use. I introduced you because they can talk you through it. As I went over there, they know what I'm like. FORDY, here's a mic. I just went off on one, but the amount of there was 3 or 4 guys on that comment, absolutely laying into me, stripping into me, awful the stuff they were saying. And Kendall actually went to them and said, look, come on, life's a bit short. Do you want to remove them before we do? And the geezer apparently laid into the bloke from Kendall. That's about it all. You just got to think yourself, are these people for real? Like, does it really matter? I mean, and they're in the running community, and they should be embarrassed, like what are they going through in their life? What does it make? But again, you can't get on it. And as I say, it's a disappointment. But I go back to my point of what we have, certain other clubs have, and certain other communities have. You look at some of the other groups out there; they're just fantastic. We're not just saying about our one here. It's some of these communities and groups. They're fantastic, supportive, and nice. Not everybody's like that, and it does put people off from joining clubs and communities because they feel that could happen to them, or they've had experience of that, and that's why we just again as an example, but there are other places. We try and be the complete polar opposite of that, to be welcoming. As I said to that gentleman that I was talking to today, we are here not for a running club. We're here for a running family, and that's what we are, and that's what we believe in, and that runs through everything that we do. It's about that supportive, fun. We're this, and yeah, we don't get taken seriously. And I tell you now, no, actually, I better not tell you, but. No, admin's not here. Anyway, we don't get taken seriously, and we get looked down on. Hayden said it today that because he was on the call, that we get people look down their nose at us because we've got the shirts, we've got the things over, we're noisy, we're having a laugh. Obviously, I make things worse when I turn up with a camera. I totally appreciate that, and loud and shouting my mouth off. People don't like that, right? But ultimately, it's about you. It's about what works for you, where you find support, where you feel like this is going to help you in your journey of life, not just running, and you're going to get the most out of what you're doing. And again, that defines, I think, how you look at the terminology of everyday runner, because it's what you get out of that. And that's where I think we appeal to so many people. But I just think it's great having Kieran on, because again, he just epitomizes it. A stand-up member of the community that you don't realize, but people do look to you. And they respect you, and they are inspired by the stuff you're doing. So fair play to you, mate, because despite having colourful language at the most of the time, you are
so many warnings on this one.
you are honestly, mate. And again, and I say that to pretty much most people in what we do. That's why I only like having people like yourself on the show. Really, to be honest with you, real everyday runners. To tell the story and to inspire, because people will be listening to this and will go, you know what, Kieran, actually, I'm going to come off of this. I saw a comment about Ben. Where was it? Ben was some. Yeah, here we go. Look. From Robert, I find Ben is a great inspiration. He's also so positive, so active in the community group, responsive to comments, unlike Hayden. And seeing his runs in Strava, and you know what I mean? And on a serious, that's true, Ben. So, don't underestimate what... I put a post up today. I think I said, have a great weekend, influencers. Right? Did you see that in the Facebook group? I meant that. Because you're all influencers within the 40 Runs community and club. Because you're influencing your peers, your community members. Because they're seeing what you're doing. People are seeing Wilco go out and run these PBs. People are seeing Ben go and do an 18, 16-mile stupid run after running a PB in Dover. People are seeing Kieran get up there and smash the life out of, their 620 mile or whatever it is. You are all influencing other people, and you are definitively everyday runners. And so take pride in that. Take pride in the fact that you are more than just being ordinary and, whatever. What was it again? Garden?
Common or garden?
Garden.
Chris, we've had a lot of love with Kieran. I've just got to have, before we go, I've just got to have a quick chat with him.
Yeah, okay. But can I just say, because I'm going to forget, but I'm going to do it. You can do that. But I've just got to say, I want to wish Tracy all the best for tomorrow. She's doing her 150th park run.
Wow.
Whittington. I'm going to be there. Hopefully, it's not underwater. I am wearing my Speedos. I'm running in my Speedos.
Oh, brilliant.
Right? Brilliant for me. But Ben, where are we?
Grovelands Park. So it's that hilly one that you chickened out of a couple of weeks ago.
It's illy. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm going to moan the whole way. But Tracy, we love you, and we're going to come and support it. And I think, again, talking of everyday runners, and Tracy Whittington is without a doubt one of the shining lights in our club and community. She 100%. Is a special human being. and we're just sending love her way. Okay, and we're coming to what's it called again?
Groveland Park.
Groveland Park to share some of that love with you. Right, Wilco. Now you can tear Kieran a new one.
Right, yes. I want to talk to Kieran about Laser Quest in Dover.
Unbelievable now.
Now, if you tell the story and then I'll sort of like build on that. What actually happened when you did Laser Quest?
Oh, it's just a basic target when the whole game, game 3. We done Laser Quest, and I thought I'm not going to win this, so we're not going to get anywhere. So I ended up taking everyone's guns off them and just started pushing them on, getting them on the floor, and rugby tackling them. It got to the stage that Rob from Colchester got into trouble for laying on the floor because it's against health and safety. He's trying to explain to the governor that he's just been thrown on there. And when we finished, the guy goes, right, he said, who's Kieran? Stubbins. Well, here we go, we're going to get thrown out here. He went, right, just to let you know, you got the lowest score, not by just for today, but was it a 5-year-old kid?
Yeah. They said we had a 5-year-old kid who scored better scores.
Who got better scores. So I got 17, as you can see, all the jokes have been going around. And the person above me, the second lowest, was something like 300 and something, Wilco, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was
so
very ridiculous.
At this point, I will take up the story because I'd played in the second game and this was the third game. So we're in the background and the guy's got the computer screen scores on the thing. We're out with the blue slush puppies and the nuclear bloody power sweets and all that stuff they give away. So and we're watching it. And Kieran's about third from bottom on the scores. There's about 16 people, I think. He's third from bottom. So we're all pointing this out. Oh, look, Kieran's rubbish, isn't he? And the manager goes, I can alter the scores if you like.
Unbelievable. So
he went, can you? He says, well, yeah, I can't give anybody less points, but I can give everybody more points if you like. And he said, which one is it? We said, it's Kieran. He said, oh, I'll do that then. I'll get everybody else's score to go up and I'll keep his low. Brilliant. And then his will be really low when he comes out.
Look at his face.
So we said, yeah, go on then, mate, do it. So is it 4 weeks since we went to Dover?
Yeah, brilliant.
Hats off to everybody else who was on that bus who kept stum about that and gave Kieran loads of pelters. We had pictures of just 17, sort of like the old magazine pictures with his face on. Everybody's got really stuck into him about that. But I thought today he has suffered enough, and today was the day to confess.
Stitch up.
To be honest,
we stitched him up.
I think everyone was still in shock about you asking what time you're going home. Honestly, you could not believe that happened. We've been on the coach 20 minutes, and he was sitting opposite me, and he went, I don't want to be a killjoy here, but we'll get home tonight. We'll go 20 on top of the QE2 bridge.
Oh dear. Right, look, boys. It's an hour. Believe it or not, we've been going over an hour, which is amazing, right? Kieran, there's an open invitation for you to come back on here whenever you want. Right?
Thank you very much.
Ever you want. I love you. And you come on here anytime you want, even if it's just me and you, and we just take the piss out of Wilco. I've got no problem with that.
Oh, I'll be up for that. That'd be great.
But thank you very much. I know it's difficult for you, with your work and that, look, to get on here. We really appreciate you coming on. Keep being you, bruv. It's amazing. Thank you very much for everything you do, promoting 40 runs and being part of such an active part of the community club. We all love you. So thank you very much. We really genuinely appreciate it. I'm back on Monday live on Bite Size. So again, running shoes and all that sort of we got to get through all this lot. So we're going to be on at 8 o'clock on Monday. Next Friday, I'm not on. I'm on my way to Wrexham to hang out with Ryan and Rob for the weekend. So I will be down there. So I don't know who's on, but we'll figure it out. But the show's going to be back live next week. And I think that's probably it. Give another shout out to our sponsors at Skechers, skechers.co.uk. Get over to them. We really appreciate that. And lastly, a big thank you to everybody who's tuned in live. We really appreciate it. The show only works because you guys tune in and get involved. I like the fact that you are just been hammering Kieran for basically an hour. I think that's probably one of the funniest things I've seen. But yeah, we generally do appreciate all the love and you tuning in live and joining us every week. And especially also another shout out for everybody who takes it out on the pod and listens to it as you're out on the run. That's incredible. So thank you very much to everybody. If you're coming to, where are we going again, Ben?
Groveland Park.
Groveland Park, we'll see you there. Simon is buying breakfast. If anybody wants to come along to that. No, he is.
Does he know?
Yeah, I told him.
He does now.
He does now. He's coming. Oh, and I'll leave you this. Someone was asking. Yes, he's not retired from running. He will be back at the Winter 10K to give a rating. So his ratings will return at the Winter 10K. So anybody who's missed him on the channel, he's been doing some biking because Toe's been doing biking. So they're like biking friends. But he's coming back to do a rating for you all at the Winter 10K. Right, that's it. Thanks again, everybody. I'll find the outro in just a sec. Oh, here it is. We shall see you all
Bye, everybody.
very soon. Bye.
Bye, boys.